Vols are back.
Yeah, they had us the first half, I'm not going to lie.
Oh, could be Wayne!
I think I got my swagger back. Oh!
I love it, baby!
Them orange britches. Something about them orange britches.
Tennessee wins! By Tennessee, Jawan Jennings. Jennings makes the catch.
Ball hit high in the air into right field. Going back is Sayre. And Tennessee can say hello win column. A grand slam in the bottom of the ninth. You can't draw it up any better.
We just won a basketball game, and we're very happy right now.
I made up my mind. I don't expect to ever look back. I'm going to stay at the University of Tennessee.
Reddit did to do, and welcome into More Important Issues. It is Sunday, April 2nd. Welcome in. It's Masters Week. I've got my Masters hat on. I think it's, some people might disagree, but I think they're wrong. It is officially Masters Week. By this time next week, you will have your 2023 Masters champion. It's exciting. This is one of the best times of the year.
Georgia.
Nice. That was a great call.
Georgia.
It's been a good sports calendar. We do have the women's basketball national championship national champion now crowned. I'm not happy about it, so we'll move on from there. Final Four was great last night. XFL, if you're into that, I tweeted about it. Pickleball Slam was on ESPN. Didn't watch that. I don't know what more you can ask for. Baseball's back too. Opening day this past week, I guess. It's a good time, man. This week I feel like is the dream.
This is the last great week until it's just baseball, right?
Yeah, it's about to die. It is about to die out. If you could somehow get college football into this week, it would be amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The best parts of March Madness, college football. I feel like opening day baseball, that first weekend, first teams are getting in their first home stands. It almost has more excitement than postseason baseball, excluding NLCS, ALCS, World Series.
Yeah, definitely those playing games.
Yeah, those are worthless. No, I don't. Those you probably have to have a.
We did forget about the NBA, but we kind of did it on purpose. Yeah,
I'm not mad about that at all. So yeah, this is a great week, and it's a lot of TV watching. Last night was, the UConn Miami game was it was fun to watch. It was there's something about UConn that I'm just not mad when they dominate. I don't know. I don't know why I don't hate them as much as I should.
Yeah, I'm kind of in the boat where I just the Final Four, the teams that were in there, I just could care less. There wasn't one single player I'm I was almost more excited to watch Caitlin Clark versus South Carolina than I was the Final Four last night.
I don't know if I was more excited. Now, if you're talking about, I think Caitlin Clark was the specific player to watch out of all 8 teams left. I would 100% agree with that. There's no one that just really excites me, but I think I just really enjoyed it.
I just didn't care about it that much.
Interesting. I loved it. I thought and then, we'll get into that too about the San Diego State FAU. What a finish. We'll talk about that. We got Final Four for you. We do have, it is spring practice. Tennessee is full tilt. First scrimmage of the year happened on Saturday in Neyland Stadium. So some news coming out of there. It's kind of goes into those expectations we talked about on Thursday. So see what answers, what questions may be answered. And we'll also talk baseball series in Baton Rouge. Not what we wanted, but Sunday was a nice little refresher. It was almost better than hitting reset.
Yeah.
But
it's going to be okay.
It's not a series win. You want the series win, but getting a win there, I think you take.
Also, you're kind of throwing me off with you being in Johnson City.
I know. I kind of like moving around and keeping everybody on their toes.
You have 3 different setups, which is impressive.
I do. I need to work on
Can't hide that money.
I know. You got to work on the Cleveland setup a little bit. Make it. I love my Vols letters above the windows. I've got shakers for many years, but also from the Alabama game there that we collected. I'm really jealous of, I think it's actually above your desk now, but your cigar with the newspaper that you got.
Yeah.
I don't have my cigar. I should have saved it like Landon did. That's a cool memorabilia. But I think I am going to utilize the shakers and the hat I wore. I think most of that came from that night. It's filthy. I mean, not that I wouldn't wear it to a Tennessee game again, but I think I'm just going to shadow box it as the night we beat Bama because that's the last time I wore it.
Yeah, I have some what do you call that actually? Like that, the shaker material. What is
I don't
that?
know. I have no idea.
It's kind of like a
That's plastic. Yeah.
Yeah. I have a couple of those strings in that shadow box as well.
Yeah. That's
from one of those. There's no.
Got a good.
It was like soaked in beer. The one I got was.
Oh, they reeked of beer.
Yeah.
It was awesome. Yeah, that Landon's got a good little setup. I think you've tweeted it out. You should tweet it out again because it's
right, I'll do it.
Got a really cool one.
Especially after Alabama tweeted about LSU not having any class when they won the national championship today. Really?
Alabama tweet?
Yeah, or the Barstool Alabama. I'm like, that's what you're gonna tweet? After
that account has to go down as the most obnoxious Twitter account in the world.
Oh
right?
My god!
I
just tweeted that graphic. Wrong place, wrong time.
Nice. That was good.
Yeah.
I don't hate the For You page. I definitely spend more time on my followers. I don't hate the For You page, but the fact that it's brought me so much of that account pisses me off.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm kind of with you. Like, I don't notice it a ton until it's like, okay, I know I don't follow and everybody that I do follow should not be liking this.
Yeah, I don't know how it keeps popping up. It's very strange.
Yeah,
it's very strange. I'm excited for the show. We've got some listener questions, but if you've got some more, drop them in the chat. We'll get to those later on, or may answer them right away. I don't know. Keep us on our toes. See what happens. We've also got our segments. We've got most important of the week and fail of the week. If you've got those two, drop them in. I am on the internet a lot, but I miss some of it, so send those in. I'd love to see what y'all got, what y'all come up with.
On the dark web?
Yeah, if you're on the dark web, let me know. I'm too scared to go on. I don't even go incognito mode. I don't want anybody to think I'm doing anything nefarious.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I keep it clean. I'm not like that guy that what did he do? He killed his wife and then Googled how long does it take a body to start stinking, dead body to start stinking or something like that.
Like decompose.
How to get rid of a dead body. It was insane. I think he did it in incognito mode, which I guess he thought they couldn't access that. Wild move.
Yeah.
I don't do that. I don't want people to think I'm searching that.
He told on himself. That's his problem.
Yeah, for real. Yeah, we'll get into the show. Before we do that, though, I do want to tell you guys about Underdog Collectibles. Underdog is Knoxville's best sports collectibles store with a wide selection of UT cards, autographs, and memorabilia. Whether you're looking for a Peyton Manning autographed helmet or the most recent Topps baseball card release, you'll find it at Underdog. The shop is owned by UT graduates and proudly supports UT sports by hosting NIL events throughout the year. Stop by the University Commons Shopping Center next to Publix and Domino's to check them out. Open 6 days a week with live YouTube shows 3 nights per week. Remember to always bet on the Underdog. Landon, I've got good news. Tell me. I think I'm going to get my first baseball card pack. My birthday is in 11 days. And I want to do a box break. What is it? Box break?
Oh, yeah.
Card break. Card break. I think I'm going to go to Underdog, get one for my birthday, then do one on the show. I think would be a great way to.
Yeah, that'd be perfect.
I think that'd be a great way to do my first box break, card break.
I have a gift for you. I can't wait to give it to you for your birthday.
I'm excited and nervous, especially with the way you said that. Okay, all right. Yeah, I'm very nervous now. So yeah, I think we'll do that coming up. I think that'll be fun. I don't even know what day my birthday's on. Is it a recording date by chance? It is. It's a Thursday. Oh, look at that. And we're dodging the bad luck Fridays. For someone as superstitious as I am, to have a birthday on the 13th, it just sucks. Today we were going through stuff and we're up in Johnson City getting ready to move, and I found an umbrella, wanted to see what kind of shape it was in. I had to go outside just to open it. Earlier this week, I had a ladder. I had to move the ladder completely because of where I was positioned because I refused to walk under it. Very superstitious. So to have that birthday is really brutal for me.
Yeah. I'm kind of the same. Well, I don't have a 13th birthday, so I don't go through that with you. But the nachos thing is something, and I know people are trying to get me to do it for away games. It's just
can't.
a Lindsey Nelson thing. Yeah, like I couldn't do it. I didn't do it the first 2 games, so I couldn't do it Sunday because if they would have lost, and I did do it, that's on me. So
Exactly.
I let
And
them
you've
win a
done
game
it-
without, so they don't have to have me on away games. That's
and they've
all
won
on
too
them.
many away games without you doing it. So you
Sure.
can't take a good superstition and turn it into a bad one because then that, like you said, it ruins it. So you did right. You're doing right. I'm glad you made that decision. That was a good decision, I think.
Also, like I feel like I probably need a break a little bit from the nachos. Like
not for home games. You don't mean that, right?
guys, it's hot girl season. I can't be gaining all this weight before the summer.
But like you're going the next time you're in Lindsey Nelson, you're eating nachos.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Okay,
but I do like this little break of away series where I don't have to.
You scared me there. I just want.
But yeah, when I'm in there, I got to. Like it's.
I think we need to make an account for Landon's nacho tracker, and we need to see what the record is. It's got to be phenomenal, dude.
Of how many like chips?
No, the record of wins and losses for your nachos.
It is pretty good. I mean, granted, I didn't do it during like the Serrano years, but
well, yeah, but you didn't have MVP.
That's
MVP
true.
seats, and it wasn't the same. You wouldn't have had them in the same room. It's not
right.
the same
And I'd have to
thing.
pay for all of them. So
that would be insane.
Yeah, can't be going on in debt for some nachos. That's rough. That's when you know you got it bad.
I would if it meant Tennessee wins, but I think you would too.
Sure.
So, yeah, maybe that'll be a new Twitter account. We need to follow along. I mean, you can follow along obviously on your Twitter account, but I think Landon's Nachos needs its own because you ate nachos. I think it was the game Charlie Taylor hit the cycle. I mean, you might have taken one bite and Charlie Taylor went yard.
Yeah, I know. If I would have had another chip, and I think it was if he would have hit another home run. No, he didn't hit for the cycle.
Sorry,
I said if he would have hit for the cycle, I was going to take my shirt off. So if I would have had one more chip, it probably would have happened.
Oh man, you jinxed that. We like the home run better though. I think the tarp still should have come off. That's just my opinion, but
yeah,
I won't hold that against you.
I couldn't do it if I didn't agree to actually that I couldn't do it.
That's fair. That's fair. I do like that you mentioned beach bod season. You gotta listen. We're coming out of winter. We've all been hibernating a little bit.
Yeah,
but now it's time. You got to start cutting weight. Kind of feels like what spring practice is about, right? Like you're getting out of that little. You had a cool off period. Sure, you might have been in the weight room as a team, but you haven't practiced in months. This is listen. We don't expect you to look your best right now. Got a couple months to look your best. You're fine. Kind of feels like what the spring practice is. I do have to say though, the video department at the University of Tennessee, those people can sell season tickets on their own. If you didn't renew your season tickets, you watched the one they put out Saturday and you renewed them. I mean, Joe Milton dropping dimes. I think I'll have to go back and watch. I think there was a Nico throw in there.
There was, yep.
I mean, just
McAllen Castles.
Yeah, and so talk about getting you fired up right there.
Yep. Yeah, 100%. I mean, they're getting paid good money, and rightfully so, because they are legit funding.
Yeah. I watched that and I was like, man, I don't even know if I need to listen and read about what's happened in spring practice. It might bring me down a little bit because you
already know what happened. We just threw it everywhere. The defense played great. Tennessee won. That's all you need to know.
That's it. It was a good day to be a Vol and Neyland. But I mean, there were some from the sounds of it, a lot of positives that came out. I know Brent Hubbs mentioned that the defense won, which is usually, especially if they're not winning a lot in spring, they're at least usually winning that first practice. It's just usually how it goes. A lot of kinks to work out, things to figure out offensively as far as timing is something that, I mean, not only needs to be worked out in spring, you see it early on in Tennessee. I know Tennessee didn't really miss a beat when they get to play Ball State earlier this year, but certainly some things that it's just one of the offenses is a little bit more rhythmic. Defense is a little bit, you kind of get to go out and run around. So it doesn't surprise you when you hear that the defense won. And I don't know, for me, it doesn't change my opinion of where I think this defense is at. I don't know kind of what your thoughts are, though.
I think it makes me feel better that they won. I mean, if they went out there and you said the offense just dog stomped them, I'm still like, oh crap, here we go again.
Right.
But it does give me higher hopes for this defense to.
Well, I mean, I assume you feel the same way because we've talked about on the show in previous springs. You kind of expect the defense to win this, but I guess are you feeling that way because it's a lot of returners plus a seasoned guy like Joe Milton?
Yeah, I'm thinking of like the offense is missing some guys. Dante Thornton didn't participate. Brew McCoy's not out there. Jalen Wright's not out there. Jabari Small. So um, I think just apparently they played well and didn't turn the football over, but the defense won. I mean, I think that given like all the starters that were out on offense, I think it makes me feel okay.
I mean, yeah.
If that's the outcome that comes out of it, I think I'm choosing that one over, the latter.
Okay, so I mean you definitely want to feel good about this defense. I just meant I don't know if it changes my opinion of. I don't think the defense is amazing just because it's kind of expected at this time in the year that. Because I think, for example, that first spring, maybe even last spring, everyone kind of freaked out when you read about how much better the defense performed than the offense. And I think just if you look, it's just that's how it normally goes this time. And that's why I mean, like, that doesn't necessarily change my expectations.
Well, there's so much more depth and competition at, all those positions, especially up front and that linebacker. So I guess, and defensive back. So I just think they should be better. Coming into the season. And then, right now, like you said, they should. You're kind of getting the flow of things. Probably timing isn't there with all the receivers and things like that, especially when, two of those guys are out. Not a lot to look into. It's not. We're talking about it. I mean, there's not a lot else to talk about. Let's be honest, but
not on a podcast full of orange. There's a lot going on, but not on. It's very slow Tennessee type time.
So, but yeah, apparently Nico looked really good, and some said he looked better than Joe. I mean, again, it is one practice. And Joe's probably going up against the ones, whereas Nico's probably not. So,
Right.
Cool. I'm glad Nico looked good because
for sure.
Is it Pat 40 said, they're already wanting their money back for Nico after, he went through bowl practices. It was just like,
I don't think I saw that, but I also, Pat 40's never blocked me, which is a little shocking. I think I've said some things that,
it was one moron. I just assumed it was Pat 40. Maybe it wasn't.
It might have been. It probably was because I think I blocked. I think it's Pat 40 that just. I think when he goes in and looks at his numbers and sees what he needs to do to perform for, I believe, Yahoo. He sees he isn't doing enough. He just says something negative about Tennessee because he knows the clicks are going to get driven up. So it's that guy. I just blocked him. I don't give him. I'm pretty good. I'm convinced if every Tennessee fan blocked Pat 40, he'd be out of a job in less than a year. I'm pretty convinced of that.
Oh yeah.
But yeah, I mean, if anybody's wanting their money back for a quarterback that you don't expect to start, that would be insane. I wouldn't be concerned with the quarterback. I'd be more concerned with the coaching staff that thought that.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's a very strange thought anyways. I like that you mentioned more depth on that defense. That's another thing, just going back into what I read that Brent Hubbs said, more dudes. And we talked about that on Thursday with the kind of expectations for the season. Tennessee's just going to have more dudes than they did last year. They're building so much turnover from Josh Heupel's first year in which he was hired in February, and just kind of behind the eight ball as a total, and getting guys in here that are being recruited to start, I think is what's going to kind of change this year.
Yes.
Right. Maybe not as freshmen, but as sophomores, they're not being brought in as extras, not the right word, but they're not being brought in as fillers. That's probably worse than extras. They're not just filling out classes with guys like they were in that first year. So getting those guys in a lot of them are now sophomores. Some of them are freshmen. Some of them are transfers, bringing them in to fill out the roster, or more than fill out the roster, to play and start, I think is going to be evident this year. So I think that's a positive to hear someone that watched say that, because we thought that would be the case.
When Josh Heupel kind of mentioned the competition at Leo with, Roman Harrison and Joshua Joseph, James Pierce, Caleb Herring thrown in there as well. So there's a lot more bodies. Like last year, it was Roman Harrison. Joshua Josephs and James Pierce were there, but they were freshmen. They were kind of learning. So in spring practice last year, it was Roman Harrison and Byron Young,
Right.
and that was
Yeah,
it.
I smiled when you just mentioned when you read off 3 names and you mentioned a 4th. I got real excited. I mean, and those guys too are expected impact players. Well,
And
maybe
Shadavian
not.
Bradley's probably thrown in there too.
Right.
I mean, I don't. Maybe at some point he's in the competition, but he's got to gain some weight probably first. But
Right. Yeah, I mean, those guys are expected to be able to play, and so I think that's a huge positive that Tennessee's looking for us. But not, and I don't. I mean, that's not just a defensive thing. I think there's still some offensive questions that run about. That, I mean, not that the offensive line is a huge question mark, but you do have a right tackle position that you've got to get filled out, and so that's going to be interesting to see how that goes through spring. I mean, I don't expect that question to be answered by mid-April. I don't know if this coaching staff does. I don't know if most fans do. I mean, that's, I think, something that you have to have it figured out by September, but I don't expect it to be done in April.
yeah, you got to get some kind of serviceable production out of that position because last year, like the left tackle position is another one where you kind of have a question mark. You got 2 guys that kind of played that spot last year, but no one just like took it and run with it.
Yeah, and that's I was about to contest a
Ran with
little
it.
bit on the question mark. I don't know if question mark's the right word because I feel like that's usually another when I say it, it's usually for me more of a concern. That's a way to say concern for me. And
Sure.
so I don't view left tackle as a concern as much of just a who's it gonna be type guy. Whereas right tackle, I think there is a level of concern. Maybe not high level. I'm not putting us on red alert or anything, but you certainly don't know who it's going to be, who's going to even step into the role to. And I'm not expecting a Darnell Wright. Don't get me wrong. What did we say on Thursday that guy from ESPN expects him to be a Pro Bowler next year, which I find a little insane, but I hope that's true.
Cool.
Right.
That's
So
another thing. We were talking about Pat Forty like trying to get, clicks. I feel like everybody knows how like passionate Tennessee's fan base is, so they also kind of use that as kind of the opposite of just bashing Tennessee to get clicks. They just go super high on Tennessee, so they get clicks as well. Like the guy who had Hendon Hooker at number 5 to the
yeah,
Seahawks.
that's clickbait.
Yeah, I'm just like, I mean, he's coming off of ACL. Like, I mean, if the Seahawks want to take a chance on that, cool. And I'm not saying he shouldn't go over Will Levis or Anthony Richardson, but to say like come out of left field and just say Hendon Hooker's going number 5, I don't know about that.
Yeah, and I'd probably feel differently if Hendon Hooker even had the opportunity to do a little bit of pro day.
Yeah,
I'd probably, if this injury happened in August, September, and there was some type of workout he was going through, but these people, they only have film. We know everyone should know that NFL scouts love combines and pro days.
yeah.
It's almost like they abandon film. Not abandon it. It's second.
And
it's
the
second
interviews,
fiddle.
like I mean, how much of that? Because apparently Will Levis is, destroying or like
He's bombing them, right?
he's
Okay.
not doing well at all. I didn't destroy bombing, which
He's not destroying them; they're destroying him.
Yes,
apparently.
yes. He is not doing well in those. But like, how much of that is, smoke and maybe somebody's trying to get a trade to like, oh, maybe we can, jump up and get him, or another team like lower is trying to like downplay him where somebody in front of them doesn't pick him. I don't know.
Right. I mean, I don't know. I hate to get away from Tennessee here and go completely there. We do have a question about that later. We'll get to, but I saw where the Colts are apparently heavy on Levis, which I maybe Peyton Manning.
They're not just going to try to recycle another like old white quarterback.
Yeah, I don't know. I maybe Peyton Manning is a curse, dude. Maybe he is because he left the Colts. They get it. I mean, is it not similar to Tennessee's situation? Leaves the Colts and they get a good quarterback like Andrew Luck and just can't do it all, can't take the team all the way, can't win the big ones. And Now
When
they're
retires.
just stuck in now they're just stuck in quarterback. Just
Purgatory.
I don't even know if it's purgatory. It might be hell. I mean, they go and get not even. I mean, listen, not that I wouldn't if I'm an NFL team and I don't have a top 10 quarterback, top 5 quarterback. I would take Matt Ryan. I wouldn't take an old Matt Ryan, and they end up with him.
Yeah.
So maybe I love you, Peyton, but you might be a curse. It turns out. Look at Denver.
Look at Denver. I mean, they went what? They went Peyton, Brock Osweiler. Who they have after?
They did draft. I don't. If he started,
Drew,
it wasn't many games. Paxton Lynch at one point.
Paxton Lynch, yeah. Drew Lock.
And
now they're stuck with Russell Wilson forever. Yeah. Hate it for him.
Yeah, no, I'm kind of sad now that I realize that Peyton actually might be a curse. I always thought it was, speaking of smoke, I always thought it was smoke, but
yeah,
might be something to it. All right, spring practice. I am very excited. You've always thought it?
Yeah, I've always thought it.
You think I'm a Negavol. You're buying into all these curses. I don't know what we're doing.
I think there are like curses. Like I think if you overplay something, it's definitely a curse. Like Caitlin Clark, there's no way she was winning a national championship today. No way.
Yeah, I mean, I just thought when you looked at like, especially I don't know. I didn't think what they did to South Carolina was going to be effective, at least in the same capacity as it was on LSU.
Yeah.
They're just like, talk about hoopers. And I know a lot of people are pissed at what Angel Reese did. And I mean, I kind of get it, but it's not like she punched her in the face or anything.
Caitlin Clark was kind of doing the same stuff the other night. Like,
I think a lot of people are mad about the after game stuff, which I kind of get, but I'm also like, it's not that big a deal. I'll hate her for it because she plays for LSU. If you want me to, I'll gladly hop on that train, but
yeah,
whatever. Good for the game, right?
Right. I mean, OBJ is throwing stacks in the.
Oh, is he doing it again?
LSU. No, I'm just saying, like.
I figured they banned him from.
I'm like, yeah, that's just how they celebrate down there. It's not her fault.
Right. She's a product of her environment. Okay.
Exactly. Yes.
Caitlin Clark to Tennessee. She really wants to get back at LSU. She doesn't know if she'll get the chance in the Big Ten again. Why don't you just come to Tennessee?
Tennessee beat LSU.
Right. Right.
Just saying.
It's a great point.
Let's get that going. Let's get on the Caitlin. I mean, isn't Iowa like her home school though?
Probably. I don't know much about Caitlin Clark.
I think she is from Iowa, so I don't know if she's willing to leave that. But hey, we do have the number one NIL collective.
Correct. We'll get the Iowa. I want you to get into that again. That was a great segue, but I have to get. I'm an ideas guy, and I have to get my idea out there. Not only am I bad at execution, but if I forget this idea, I'm screwed. We get the Iowa Hawkeyes athletic program shut down. Okay. I don't think that would be difficult. I think the fans are pretty fed up with everything going on there. So I think we could get Iowa Hawkeyes on that train. Then she can't play for her home state team.
I highly doubt the Iowa football team could score on the Iowa women's basketball team.
Not if Caitlin Clark's playing quarterback. Have you seen her dish it? Yeah, they could. Because, I mean, defensive touchdowns are their only chance. And if she's playing quarterback, they're screwed.
Yeah.
Do you think they studied that South Carolina film and just thought, we've seen this happen every Saturday in the fall. This is how we play defense, how they play defense against us.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. That's kind of what I was thinking.
Yeah. I think they just ran out of gas. I love like that. Like when a team's winning and they just lose by a lot, that last game. Oh, they just ran out of gas.
This is what I want movies to be made of. I think I love when movies end like that.
When they lose the very last game. Dude, I hate Friday Night Lights because of that.
See, I kind of like it.
Movie.
I guess to be fair, you have to have enough of the movies that end with the best thing happening to then go, all right, we're going to flip it on its head. Like the first season of Ted Lasso, when they get relegated, you almost kind of enjoy it. But I'm also with you now. I'm like, please go win the Premier League.
Well, here's the thing, like Friday Night Lights, they didn't win. Remember the Titans, they did win. Which one's a better movie? Remember the Titans.
Friday Night. No. Friday Night Lights
What?
is far and away the better movie than Remember the Titans.
What?
You have to remember this too. Should change your opinion.
Strong
Remember the
side,
Titans-
left side? Yeah, I know exactly what movie it is.
Remember the Titans is very much a fictional movie. It is nothing like the true story.
I don't care. I watched. I'm basing it off
also-
movies.
To be fair, I think they did win the state championship, but Gary Bertier also played in the state championship, I'm pretty sure. I'll have to look it up. Dylan or Joe, if you can, look it up.
Then
I'm
they
99%
then they won it
Gary
without him. They
Bertier-
didn't even need Gary. That's how
Gary
good that team
Bertier
was.
played in the state championship in real life. Why do we have to paralyze him before it? I don't get it.
Did he get paralyzed after?
Yes, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Okay.
If Dylan or Joe, if you can just double check that, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, I don't know why that has anything to do with that. I think the movie is better.
No, I said it's true to story. Like they won the state championship. I'm not.
Okay.
So they have to win it and remember.
That's why I think it's a better movie because they won.
Dude,
It's
I'm
better
just like
ending.
how can you not have like Friday Night Lights is phenomenal. That is such a good high school football movie.
You're only saying that because Rick Barnes is in it.
That's the TV show.
Okay, let's go on that. The
I'm talking
TV
about the
show
movie.
might be better than the movie.
No. What?
You don't like Landry? What?
No. I love Friday Night Lights, the TV show. I think it's a little bit of trash TV.
Tim Riggins?
I love Tim Riggins. I think it is one of those shows that don't make sense because Tim Riggins apparently is a sophomore in the first season. It doesn't really make sense. He's an alcoholic sophomore.
That lives by himself?
But I love it. Don't get me wrong. But the OG Friday Night Lights is the best movie compared to Remember the Titans. Car accident did happen after. Remember the Titans is a fraud. Disney ripped off that garbage. They didn't make it true to story at all. Also, they weren't the only integrated school. You know, the whole story is they're the only one. That's not true. Every school in that Virginia area was integrated. They took too many royalties. Hollywood played too much with that movie. I don't like it. It is a quotable movie. Shout out Denzel Washington. He's one of my favorite actors. It is a very quotable movie. It's much more quotable than Friday Night Lights.
Well, and like a lot of big time actors were in I want to say The Longest Yard, not The Longest Yard.
Ryan
Remember the
Gosling.
Titans. Ryan Gosling, Petey. He's in a lot of stuff. He was in Scrubs.
Yeah, he was. I don't know his name though. Can we call him Big Tom if I don't know his name?
Yeah, I mean, I just I guess that's true.
You just recognized him from something.
Let's see his name.
I feel like I love Remember the Titans. Donald, I still don't know who that is, but thank you, Joe. Donald
Faison, yeah.
Faison, they say it.
Julius is in a lot of movies.
Julius Campbell's awesome.
Gary Bertier's in a lot. He's in Sons of Anarchy.
Yeah. And so is
he's Opie.
There's someone else I feel like from Remember the Titans that shows up in Sons of Anarchy, isn't there? Maybe I'm just thinking of him. I don't know. I love the movie. I think it's a great movie. I just think Friday Night Lights is better. But I also need to say
it's okay to be wrong.
One of the better parts, it's Denzel Washington, and then it's
Hayden
daughter.
Panettiere. She's in it too. She's a daughter. Yeah.
Coach's daughter. Denzel Washington and Coach's daughter. If they were not in that movie, it wouldn't be as good. She's phenomenal.
She is great.
And if you've like grown up around any high school coaches, high school football coaches, or high school just coaches' daughters, like that's them. That is them. They care more than anyone else, probably more than the players. It's awesome.
It's great.
She plays the role perfectly.
Such a good movie. I don't think Friday Night Lights would be that good if Boobie Miles had a different name.
It is a great name. I love the scene. It's early on in the movie when he makes fun of the guy for wearing white Nikes, and then we find him Sharpieing his Nikes.
Oh yeah,
love that.
That was a tangent.
That was a tangent. It was a good tangent too.
Good tangent.
We're getting really good at them.
Yeah. What are we getting to next?
We've got coming.
I guess we're Are we done with spring practice? I mean,
That's
there was
the
a
thing.
lot. I mean,
There isn't.
apparently Nico had a good day, and I think that's good to see. Joe, not turn the football over is definitely something you want to see from an offense this early, but you don't have everybody, and so I think that kind of stands out to me. Defense apparently played well. Like to see that. Don't know exactly who played well on defense. There wasn't a ton of people mentioned. I know Ramel Keaton played well. Nathan Laycock, Squirrel. Some of those young receivers played pretty well, but other than that, McCollin Castles made a couple catches. You saw that one to Nico. He looks so weird being a tight end wearing number 34.
I was about to
Can
say,
we give this man a new number?
I was about to ask. We can't. At first, when I saw that video, I did not know what number he was wearing. I wondered why we had a fullback in.
Well, and like, no offense to walk-ons, but it looks like a walk-on number.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Like when you have a walk-on, like when they're at number 42 in the wide receiver line, you're like, okay, that guy's a walk-on.
It's either a fullback or a walk-on.
No offense to number 42 on the team. I don't know who that is, but sorry.
We can play this game right now. Fullback or walk-on. I want to run through. I mean,
this man's got a whatever number.
Number 33 through what? Number 49, I guess.
Yeah.
Is probably your. I feel bad. I mean, John Slaughter's 33. So, yeah, I guess that's a DB number. So, I think it's probably, Colin yeah, it's probably 34 through 49.
Yeah, 37 and 36. That's prime walk-on territory.
I forget, kickers are going, you got JT Carver. Kickers have been floating in that 40 territory lately.
Yeah, they have.
It's getting weird. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit.
Your nephew, what is
36, I think?
36?
I don't like it. Sorry, Joan. I know you listen sometimes.
We
got to get that number fixed.
I like it. If you can own it, that's awesome.
I like that he wanted it. He didn't get it
just for no reason. Yeah,
I do like that, but it's weird.
It's like no way 36 the fastest player on the team.
Yeah, it's strange for sure. Very strange. All right, before we got Baton Rouge coming up.
Baton Rouge.
Before we do that, Land's going to tell you about some of our good friends.
Yeah, guys, go check out. We are now an affiliate of the Volunteer Club with the Spire Sports Group, and they got some deals with y'all. We're going to tweet out a link real quick. Go join that link today. You can join for as $5 is the least amount you can do. You can go from there through tiers. You get a lot of different things in terms of, I got a koozie, sticker. You can get T-shirts, autograph, signed pictures, stuff like that.
That was their March deal. So if you didn't join in March and listen to us, I don't know what they've got coming up in April, but you did miss out on the when you signed up. You can still have the option to get those, but on sign up, they were sending out those in March.
Yeah, they got a lot of different options. They're getting merchandise as well. You get a discount on that. They have NIL events and some tailgates. I mean, this just helps gives you more access to these student athletes, and you finally have a hand in not just showing up to events, but now you can have a hand in making sure Tennessee stays on this winning train.
Yeah, for sure. There's they've got their tailgate happening April 15th for the spring game. Don't know I'm not gonna be able to be in Knoxville that day, unfortunately. I don't know what Landon's plans are, but may see some more important issues with people there for me.
Yeah, so. For sure. All right, well, let's get into baseball a little bit. We into baseball?
Yeah, before we get all the way into it, I'm gonna listen. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. Don't misconstrue this. Joe and Dylan, if you're around, I'll need you to hop in to answer this question. So back in, what was that, October? We were down in Baton Rouge, Louisiana.
Baton Rouge.
We got dropped off by our Uber right outside Alex Buck Stadium.
Mm-hmm.
We marveled at it. It's a great stadium. It's one of those stadiums in SEC baseball. You don't get much in college baseball. It's a great stadium. Facade, gorgeous. 2 jumbotrons, love it. Mike the Tiger, not the live one, but a beautiful statue of him. I mean, elegant creature, regal, if you will.
Yeah.
Our good friend Landon here decided to hop on.
Rode that tiger, baby.
And he rode that tiger. So I can't help but wonder if this is revenge and if we can blame the series loss on Landon. I'm not accusing. I'm just asking Joe and Dylan if you guys have answers. If those of you in the chat have thoughts on if this is Landon's fault, if we can blame this all on Landon. He mentioned he's a superstitious person, yet before a game between the Tennessee Volunteers and the LSU Tigers was played in Alex Box Stadium, Landon did this. So I'm just wondering.
Can I defend myself a little bit?
Yeah, I'll rebuttal. I'm going to keep you to 30 seconds because I don't think you should be able to, but I'm a fair and impartial person. So yeah, I'll let you.
We did win that day.
But that was like a quarter mile away. That was a different stadium. They have their own statue. All the stadiums have their own statues. So I think they separate but equal.
I saw a tiger. I hopped on its back. I don't know what you want from me. No regrets.
Oh, how have you not gotten that said to you on?
Because I'm not a negaball.
That's yeah. But what Dylan just said, he's guilty. Landon. That's a great rebuttal. Opposing fans take note from Dylan. He's doing the trash talking for you.
Damn it, Dylan! You're giving me ammunition. That's not great. Dylan,
also,
you're
I just saw Joey Boots' message. I just saw Joey Boots' message about Ethan Suppley, Louis Lastic. I love Louis Lastic. By the way, going back into Remember the Titans. I'm sorry. I just saw that, Joe.
This is unreal. I can't believe this.
I didn't say it. I just asked the question. Don't do anything to me.
I guess I haven't. I guess I could get that from opposing. I haven't gotten where where the Tennessee fan base thinks I'm the curse.
I don't think you are.
But you're asking the question. I'm not the Peyton Manning
I'm exploring
curse,
options.
Okay? There's no way.
I'm exploring options. This is an away game curse. So this is different than your home game wins.
I did not go
totally
to
different.
New York for basketball season either. So
ever? You were never there? Not even for the Maryland win. It was ugly, but it was a win.
I didn't go to a single basketball game this year. That's weird.
That is weird. Me either. That is weird also. I really wanted to go to the Kentucky Chris Lofton game, and it didn't work out that day. We had some stuff at Underdog, and then we were running around. It was unfortunate. Yeah. It happens. I agree.
We're not blaming
Mike. Mike gets a ride on Landon.
Actually, Mike ran away from me. He never even showed his face.
Oh, Mike's a pussy. Mike's a pussy. I mean,
heard.
I didn't need like a roar. I didn't need to see claws come out. I just wanted to see him.
Couldn't even make it. He knew. He knew exactly what we were about to do that day.
Yeah. Oh, and my favorite part is, which this isn't true. They stopped running Mike out years and years ago because of PETA pitching a fit about it. Whatever.
Probably too slow.
But one of the LSU fans standing.
He's probably too slow.
Do what? You're getting old. You know how it goes. One of the LSU fans next to me, he said, "Yeah, he doesn't always run out with the team. They bring his cage out, and if he feels like coming out, he'll get in and they'll do it." And I kind of made the comment to one of you all. I was like, "I don't think we're going to win today now. Mike the Tiger doesn't even like it. I think we're good."
He didn't want any part of that.
He came out for the Alabama game, but he saw that orange and hid.
Yeah, triggered. Hate it for him.
Hate it.
Yeah, let's talk some baseball a little bit. So, first thing I want to mention, man, what a series! I mean, two unreal teams duking it out, and LSU, they won the series. I don't know if I'm willing to just go out there and say LSU was for sure the best team. They did win the series. They got to get credit, but Tennessee sitting there, you win like you did on Sunday or Saturday. And then, the last two games, you kind of just gave it to them. I mean, I'm not saying we should have swept them, but I think Tennessee's coming home today and it's just like, guys, we should have won that series. And maybe you should have swept them.
Yeah, I mean, I think there were a lot of.
You had your
I mean, yeah,
opportunities.
I hear what you're saying, and I think that's the frustrating thing about Tennessee right now. As a Tennessee fan, when you look at this baseball team, is I think this weekend for 2 of the 3 games, and so for the series, that LSU was a better team. I think so because part of it is capitalizing on other teams' mistakes, whether they were unforced, forced, whatever they were. And I think when you look at some of those errors, they were certainly unforced and were frustrating. Some of the other, there were some errors, literal errors that whether they get marked down as so in the game, that I thought it's the pressure of playing a really good team. Me and you talked today on the phone about how that lineup's just loaded, 1 to 9. You don't get a break, and so I think there is a level of defensively. It definitely wears on you a little bit for 9 innings, and then flip to the other side. And it's not just LSU. I mean, Tennessee had this too, but I mean, you've got a pitcher that's shoving it every pitch. And when they're not, they're throwing something nasty at you off speed. And I think it's a game where you can't make many mistakes. And when the other team makes them, you have to capitalize. And I thought LSU capitalized more than Tennessee. And I think that's what, especially when you get down into, I mean, go back and look at that Notre Dame series in Super Regional there in late May, early June. Notre Dame capitalizes on mistakes that Tennessee makes. And I think those are the teams that win those games. So it's just one of those things. Like, the premise of what you're saying where you're going, oh, the talent's there. There's just not denying. There's no denying it. You saw it. It's the who's going to be more mentally tough. Who's going to be – I'm trying to remember how Tony Vitello worded it in one of his post-game pressers where he was just talking about how Tennessee's got to learn to have the dudes. And so who's going to be the dude in that moment? And I think LSU's got it right now, and Tennessee found some of it, but they've got to learn to do it consistently.
Yeah, and the margin of error in these series are so slim. And so when you have 6 errors in a weekend, I mean, you're probably most of the time you're probably getting beat. Now Tennessee's had the offense, and even this weekend it didn't turn into a complete meltdown. Like, you still were in each game,
Right?
But if you don't make those errors, I mean, Tennessee has a series win. There's no doubt about that. And, maybe we're talking about a sweep, but, we've talked about it all years. Like, defense has been an issue, and they've got it figured out in the outfield. So I do want to give a standing O to the outfield.
Yeah, absolutely. Standing O.
I mean,
standing O to the outfield for sure. I mean, we talked about it. I mean, to ask anyone to play a perfect weekend for 3 games is difficult. Tennessee was legitimately, I can't remember if it was Thursday or Friday. I don't know if you remembered it since we've talked. That very difficult, kind of awkward to the warning track ball that just gets over Christian Scott head. If he makes that, it's literally a perfect weekend in the outfield.
Yeah. I mean, they were phenomenal all weekend. But it's been the infield, and the infield is where I think you should be sure-handed. And so it's just weird. I mean, we talked about, like, Maui will make plays that you're just like, holy crap, how did he make that play? And then, the play before that, he threw it a mile over Blake Burke's head. Like, it's just stuff like that that's just very strange. I know the wind has been an issue in some of the infield, but somebody's got to take some charge. Like, I mean, Christian Moore shouldn't be running out to right field and trying to catch a ball where Christian Scott has to run just a couple feet to it. Somebody's got to take charge, and Christian Scott has to take charge. He's a 5th-year guy. He's got to take charge. That's my ball. And then somebody has to take charge in that infield where you can't have a ball land on the freaking rubber, and no one is even in the dirt.
And that one's got to be just an incredibly difficult play. You mentioned the wind. I mean, you saw where they initially get under it and then where it ends up, and it's difficult. But like you said, they just all kind of looked at each other like, I thought it I don't know what that conversation was there, but the body language told me, I thought you had it. That's what it appeared to be. And there's got to be someone that just says, this is mine. I'm making it happen.
Somebody's got to be an alpha and go get that ball. It was frustrating for sure because, I mean, as good as LSU played, I mean, Paul Skeens was phenomenal. Dylan Cruz went 5 for 5 yesterday. I don't know why we freaking keep throwing to him, but Gavin Dugas was really good. Trey Morgan was really good. I mean, Tommy White had some moments in there. I mean, that is one of the best lineups you're ever going to face. And I know people are like, starting pitching has to get better. I mean, to a certain extent, yes, but Tennessee is also leading the SEC in ERA. So it
I didn't
probably
realize that. Wow.
doesn't look like Tennessee's because they were so dominant last year. They're beating teams so bad. We're like, oh, if you gave up a
Right.
couple runs, it didn't matter. But teams can hit. I mean,
Yeah.
the games of having one hitters and no hitters and stuff like that just doesn't happen in college baseball.
Yeah, I mean that's getting clear as we move into SEC play. Even the games Tennessee wins, it feels like those guys still have those struggles that you see. I think for me, a guy that I'm very notably a casual baseball fan. Like I'm not going to pretend to know as much as Landon or others, but it is concerning, maybe the right word, that it just seems to take them so long to get settled in. I think Chase Burns is the guy that stands out in that. Is that he seems to it's harder for him to bounce back from those early struggles when they happen. Now, Chase Dollander, I feel like he's a different story. He can, whether he starts off super hot or whether he starts off getting hit on, he seems to be able to settle in much easier.
Well, he had a weird outing. He didn't have his best stuff on Thursday.
Right.
But he still, he got his first strikeout in the fourth inning.
Yeah, no, like I said, he seems to be able to settle in.
He was still pitching good enough to win you a ball game. And that's all you're asking of your starting pitching. And it should be a little bit better for Tennessee because they have, a really good starting pitching. But that's what you're asking for a starting pitcher to do. Go out there and make sure we have a chance to win in the end. And I think every starter this weekend did exactly that. Now, it helped Drew Beam that you scored 10 runs in the first two innings. But that's kind of – I don't think that was the issue. The issue is the defense. 6 errors is a lot.
Well, and that's another tough part too is that even if you're not pitching your best, there are times where there may be extra base hits that shouldn't be extra – stuff like that. Or early on I believe it was Thursday night, that Christian Moore tries tagging that runner to second if he just flips it over. That was later in the game because that was it was Halverson. It was the play before. It was Halverson. The play before that, he drops one at first that could have gotten you out of the inning too. And it's just easy plays that can be made that can completely change those stats that do make the pitching not look great. Aren't being made.
But Tennessee absolutely belonged on that field, and I think that kind of proved that. I was a little nervous because,
I do also, just from a fan perspective, real quick, where you're going with that. It is very frustrating that I don't think any Tennessee fans expected to go in there and sweep. Like that wasn't an expectation. You should have an expectation to win. And I think everyone recognized how good. I haven't heard a word about LSU being overrated this year. Like there's no denying they're the best team right now in college baseball. Like no denying that. So it's been a very weird acting like I get not liking a lot of Tennessee's attitudes the last couple of years, but they've been really good. This year it's not the same. I don't know why we're pretending. Sorry.
Evan Russell had a great quote. He was like, "This Tennessee baseball team is cashing checks that last year's team wrote."
Oh, for sure. Yeah,
I mean, this team has nothing. And I know LSU has circled this Tennessee series. That LSU fan base has circled it. I mean, they set a record in the box this weekend. Yeah,
good crowd.
And that was kind of worrisome to me. It was just like, going in Tennessee hasn't played well on the road. Missouri, Grand Canyon, Arizona wasn't on the road either. Those losses have come on the road. So I was worried about that, just being a hostile environment, but they handled it. It was just unforced errors.
Well,
unforced errors were. I thought if Tennessee was going to lose, I thought it would be because they just couldn't hit the ball very well.
Which they could. I was about to say. I mean, LSU did. It was one of those things. I thought if LSU plays kind of how they have, if you have the big time moments from the big time guys, then and they had some of those. I thought Tennessee did a really good job limiting those.
Yeah, and the thing, but the first two games, it was Tennessee couldn't get an extra base hit unless it was like a solo shot. single or solo shot. That was kind of all we were getting, which everything they were hitting were extra bases, doubles, double after double after double.
I think that does speak a little bit to how good LSU's pitching is this year. They're pitching really good in tougher situations. Thursday night, runners on second and third with one out and can't get anybody home. Like, that's tough. And I think that does speak to what LSU's doing at least a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, Skeens is really good. I wasn't impressed with their bullpen at all. And I was really impressed with Tennessee's bullpen. I thought they pitched.
Oh, I thought you talk about the starting pitching doing you enough to win games. I thought Tennessee's bullpen didn't. Could they have done more on Thursday night? Sure, but did enough for sure.
Yeah, I mean, that's the top lineup in America, and Tennessee outscored them all weekend. So, yeah, I mean, definitely a lot of good.
Let's spread that out.
Yeah,
over
a lot of good to take
time.
from this series. Not the outcome you wanted, but I do think I think it puts some confidence in, like, Tennessee's going to be okay. You know, the defense has to be figured out a little bit. I don't love the strikeout numbers that our batters are getting, but I mean, again, you out-hit and outscored the top offense in the country. Right. So I don't know how you're super mad. Yeah. I mean, Tennessee had to get that win on Saturday. That was a must.
Yeah, and I think it's one of those things that's kind of weird. At this point in the season, getting swept by the number one team in the country, your season's not over. But, man, this Sunday would have felt very different if you don't get that win. And so that's crucial.
Well, and, I mean, you're talking about LSU being the clear-cut number one team in the country. They're tied for 5th in the SEC right now.
Yeah, the SEC is wild. Yeah. I mean, South Carolina's 2 runs away, I think, from being undefeated right now.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I think that's what I looked it up because I was talking about it. I didn't know if Mississippi State had won that game the other night. And, yeah, it was – I mean, I don't know what to think entirely about South Carolina. I've just kept up with them. I haven't watched them, but I think they have the most home runs in the nation right now. I mean, they're a weird program to me. They've always been consistently good, but I feel like they're also either really good or just kind of good program. I feel like it's all you can say about them. Mm-hmm. So it kind of makes me worried about what they may be this year when it's all said and done.
Yeah, they can hit.
Oh, God, no, they got blown out by Mississippi State. 13-3 in 7 innings.
Today?
That was Friday.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Dylan Drawling, I thought hit pretty well. You know, they've kind of moved him around in that lineup as a DH, played a little bit of outfield. They moved him up to second on Sunday. I mean, anything that you kind of, like, throw at this kid, he seems to just handle it. Mm. I really like him in the lineup. And I like how Hunter Inslee, you know, Kyle Booker had a big day on Saturday. So I'm really liking what this outfield is doing. I mean, it's been your guys that have gotten you here, and Christian Moore and Blake Burke and Zane Denton. I like him kind of interchanged in the lineup as well with him being a switch hitter. I think it hides some of your lefties if he's hitting righty. But it also, like, it could just throw another lefty out there that somebody else has got to defend. So, yeah, I just kind of like how the lineup is shaping out. Again, and just the defense, like, damn.
Yeah. It's frustrating, too, because, like you said, Tennessee's playing
better.
And
that's probably the easiest part. As weird as that sounds, like, your infield should be a for sure thing. And that's what Vitello's teams have been. Like, they've just been so sure on the defensive end.
Well, I think for me, I can understand what you're saying, especially a weekend like this. If you can get anyone just about in that LSU lineup to hit a ground ball to short, that's a win. Mm-hmm. I mean, yeah, you got to finish the play, and it should be, yeah. So, I mean, I definitely understand what you're saying.
Also, I don't know I know they're using like I forget what kind of bat they're using, but man, that bat, everything they hit sounded hard as hell.
Did we not inspect them? Did we not check those out before during, and after the game?
It's
disappointing, man. I mean, listen, Tim Corbin's the classiest guy around, so I don't know how it'd be classless to check a bat. So, just saying.
Man, that was insane. And for you to kind of limit what that lineup is able to do is pretty impressive.
Yeah, hopefully that.
Also, like, I'm so glad. At what is Dylan Cruz? He's 2-7 against Tennessee in his career. So just want to kind of throw that out there. Sorry, it is what it is. I'm glad we never have to face him again unless we face him in the SEC tournament.
I was about to say I'd like to play him a couple more times.
He still will never have a winning record against Tennessee. How about that?
There you go. I like that. And I like that Tennessee is hopefully again just nailed down some things, but you do have plenty of tough series coming up. Florida, then Arkansas, and then Vanderbilt. Speaking of, like you said, 5th in the SEC. I mean, good Lord, top to bottom, this conference is loaded up.
Yep.
Although Arkansas struggled with Alabama this weekend.
Yeah, Florida this weekend. Who did they play? Auburn. They played
Arkansas did end up winning the series, I'm pretty sure. Right? That win got them the series. It was split.
Was it? Okay.
I believe.
Do you have it in front of you? What did Florida do?
I'm pulling it up. Florida lost on Friday and beat Auburn. Won the series, beat Auburn today.
Okay. I know they're down today and had to come back, so I guess they came back and won.
Yeah. Vanderbilt's still clean.
I will say this. I don't know what is going on in the state of Mississippi because both of those teams look atrocious.
But, like, how do you even – I don't know if they look worse than last year and then worse than Mississippi State. And not that Mississippi State didn't look as bad as Ole Miss, especially at the start of SEC play. But they didn't look great when they won the national championship. And then Ole Miss, I mean, people wrote them off. People wanted to fire Bianco, and he goes and wins the national. So I'm like, I don't even know. I'm not going to form any opinions about any team in the state of Mississippi right now.
Yeah, just wait until the end.
Right. They'll apparently figure. That's a team that you can confidently say they'll figure it out.
Right.
Both of them. Oh, hey, but real quick, I'll gladly jump on this train. I love this train. I'll gladly hop on it. Ole Miss is dodging all the other Mississippi teams. They don't want to play them, man. Louisiana Tech and Southern Miss, right? Games got canceled both.
Yeah.
I guess I've been an idiot. Louisiana Tech is not a Mississippi team.
Yeah.
They have Louisiana in their name, Caleb. But dodging those teams down there near them. How about that?
Yeah. I mean, definitely a little bit of karma in there. I love to see that.
All right, let's flip to the Final Four. Before we do that, I do want to remind you tomorrow night, 7 p.m., the bat flip. Landon and Dylan will get a little more in depth with that series in Baton Rouge. Talk a little bit more on that, expand on some things and thoughts. So make sure you tune in then.
Let's do it.
Anything else to add to that? You got anything you want to?
That's all I got.
Thanks
for the plug.
Yeah, anytime, man. All right, Final Fours. There were 2 of them. We do got to talk about Caitlin Clark on Friday night. I saw everybody tweeting about it as I tried to lay down. Landon knows I was stressing Friday night, so I was like, I need to try to get some sleep. And I saw tweets getting fired off. I almost turned it on. I wish I had. I mean, dude, absolute hooper.
Lit it up.
I'm with you. It didn't feel like she could win that game after everything that happened. But maybe they'll write a movie and lie about it later on, and she will. I don't know. But the fact that
they do.
The fact that she knocks off South Carolina, I mean, Dawn Staley, she still has quite a long time left in her coaching career and is probably going to go down as a Hall of Famer. Sure. She probably already is, I guess.
Yeah.
Once the career is wrapped up. And that South Carolina team is just – they're good, they're physical, they're tough. And so for her to knock them out is insane. I need to look up her final stat line because 41 points is impressive.
But she had 8 assists.
I was about to say, I think she was near double in the category. And, I mean, she padded the stat line, dude. She's legit.
Yep. Yeah, she's fun to watch. And, I mean, how many did she have today?
I think she had 8 today. That's why I didn't know if it was 8.
Okay.
The other night. I wasn't sure. Yeah, she had 8 against South Carolina. So let me look up today because I don't know what that was. Maybe she's just consistently going for 8.
She had 30.
She had 30
and today.
Yeah, so 30 and 8, 41 and 8 on Friday night. So I mean, she was
in foul trouble.
She's a baller. And I mean, I think too, what makes her fun to watch is her ability to shoot from anywhere on the court. I mean,
yeah,
she's not scared to pull up. We talked about too. I mean, LSU's got hoopers as well. I don't know if anyone stands out like Caitlin Clark does on there, but I mean, listen, I will hate Angel Reese. I'm with you all because she plays for LSU, but I mean, girl can play 15 and 10 today, 10 rebounds, 15 points. I think she's averaging a double-double. I think she finished the season averaging a double-double. That's stupid. Yeah,
23
and 15.
Yeah.
That's stupid. She's almost averaging a double-double in her career.
And she's just a sophomore.
Is she? I thought she was a junior.
She
is a sophomore. Okay. I don't know why I thought she was a junior. That's stupid.
Dude, I will say this.
Caitlin Clark is just a junior.
Yeah, she's coming back next year.
It's insane.
That's
what so I thought I read that she was coming back. That is hilarious.
Also, like, I don't hate the Angel Reese stuff. Like, people are upset that she, like, did this to Caitlin Clark. I mean, Caitlin Clark was doing kind of the same thing against South Carolina, so I don't have a problem with that. Hey, if she wasn't doing this, she didn't respect you.
Yeah, she wanted to beat you.
If you were a bench player, she wasn't going to do that to you.
That's fair. That's a good spin zone.
Yeah, real recognize real. She's a great player, but I just can't stand Kim Mulkey. That's why I wanted to.
I cannot. I can't, dude. I don't understand how she's never she doesn't get teed up. It blows my mind. It blows my mind. First off, for her outfits alone, she should get a technical going into every game.
She should win Karen of the Year. She looks like the Karenest person in the world.
She very much does. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Kim Mulkey. Didn't like her at Baylor. Don't like her now. Get out of here.
Yeah, I do want to point out Angel Reese. I didn't have anything against the game today, but to say LSU has single-handedly changed women's basketball is a little weird to me.
So that wasn't change, was it? I think it's just essentially like I guess change is probably what it means, but like we're the reason. Yeah, we put women's basketball on the map.
Yeah, by
itself. Like, and I don't even think we need. First off, I think the Pat Summit goes without saying. I don't think you need to say that. And I think this LSU team is really good, but and to be fair, I mean, what they talking about, back it up kind of deal. She certainly backed that up today to just go whoop a team that had been talked about in Iowa, and so credit to that.
Yeah,
but the comment's still absurd because I tweeted it and I stand by it, and I'm almost positive it's true. And talking about I guarantee if you go to my For You page Friday night, I live in the South. We talk about seeing Alabama tweets. We're going to see tweets about LSU. I saw more tweets on Friday night alone about Caitlin Clark than I've ever seen about LSU basketball, excluding Kim Mulkey's outfits. Take Kim Mulkey's outfits out of it. They're not about basketball. They don't count.
Yeah.
More about Caitlin Clark on one night than I've ever seen about LSU basketball. Ever.
Yeah, and we just going to forget like South Carolina won like 42 games in a row?
Yeah. That's another good point too. And then listen, I hate to recognize this, but some of the hoopers Gino Ariama has had, come on.
Yeah.
Come on. The Baylor teams. I mean, Kim Mulkey's coach teams.
Yeah, they won their first national championship today. Like, I mean, how have you changed? How have you put women's college basketball on the map if you haven't even won one yet?
That is an absurd take from her.
Yeah,
absurd. But hey,
she won a natty. So
you won it. So
maybe you're on your way to doing that, but you haven't made it yet.
Well, here's for sure. I don't know. Women's my problem with that is it's been on the map.
Yeah.
I think here the thing that's kind of frustrating is like there's a lot of people to think ahead of you, Angel Reese, that you have this opportunity to say this into a microphone.
Yeah.
So whatever. Let's flip to the men's Final Four. Like I said, Saturday night was so much fun. FAU and San Diego State. I mean, yeah, there wasn't just a single player to watch, but such a good game, and that might be a movie down the road if we want to stick with the Cinderella theme, where FAU not only gets their heart ripped out, but everyone in the theater gets their hearts ripped out. I mean, from minute like 5 of that game, you thought a number 9 seed was going to be playing in the national championship.
Yeah, 100%.
And
They're up 7 at halftime.
Up 7 at halftime. They led by 13 at one point, and not only that, San Diego State led for like 30 seconds, I think, before. No, they led for like 2 minutes, maybe. Is that right? When did their lead did not last long when they had it. What was it? It was longer than 2 minutes, I guess. Yeah, they led for a little bit in the first half. Then FAU never lets up, and chaos ensues. It was fun. It was awesome. That last shot, did they go back and look at the monitor? It looked like the refs were not calling that good. Or they called it good, I guess, but wanted to look at it. It was obvious.
Yeah, it wasn't even close.
So obvious. The double timeouts were tough. They didn't end up mattering. Lamonte Butler, though, it looks like he got stuck in the corner, right? Is that what you were thinking in real time?
Yeah.
Looks like he gets stuck in the corner. I don't know how he creates separation on that play. I don't know how.
After the play, it looks like he was just kind of baiting him to get a little separation.
Oh, interesting. I might need to go back and kind of watch that and with that thought in mind.
Yeah.
But I was kind of baffled at, and he did kind of, that's a weird spot to pull up.
We're all yelling, shoot it, shoot it, shoot it.
Right. I did when he makes that first turn with like 1.7 left, maybe right at 2 seconds left, I was thinking, no way he even gets a shot off here.
No.
This is going to be the most embarrassing final attempt in college basketball history, and turns that on its head. But I'm also thinking, if you're FAU, when you see that clock get down to 2-3 seconds, because he was in a corner, he wasn't necessarily all alone. Why are you not double teaming him? This isn't enough time to get a pass and shot off.
Yeah.
But what a play. And I loved the San Diego State's coach answer why he didn't call a timeout. He's like, I didn't have any plays left. I'm just see what happens. I'm like, that's all. I don't know if there's any truth to that, but that's awesome.
God.
I don't know if Dusty May had any plays left.
So does Rick Barnes have any plays, I guess, is a
Fair
question.
Fair point. Yeah, I based on that timeout and then inbound, I don't know if Dusty May had any left either. I will say this, and I guess I was wrong now. I hate when Tennessee, who doesn't seem to have any plays, lets the clock get to 8 seconds and then tries to go to they don't even try to go to the basket, do whatever they do. I like that FAU gets it down, whittles it down to, I think, 11 seconds left, 10 seconds left on the shot clock, calls that timeout. I thought they did the right thing. Lamonte Butler just made a big-time play in a big-time moment. That's going to go down in Final Four history.
Yeah. Huge play. Especially if they end up winning the whole thing.
Go Keys.
Go Keys. And then it just looks like UConn's going to win the whole thing.
Dude, this is UConn. I need to go back and look at their scores to see what it is, but it feels like the last 2 times they won the national championship, they've dominated in March. That's what it feels like. So I don't know I don't know exactly how those other national championship runs exactly went. There were a couple big plays. It's how Kemba Walker kind of became Kemba Walker, making those big time moments. But it truly felt like it was theirs the whole time. 2011, their closest game was to Kentucky in the Final Four. They won by 1. They beat Arizona by 2 in the Elite 8. But Sweet 16, round of 32, first round, dominate. And then they win by 12 in the championship.
They whooped Miami. It was never even really close. Yeah,
so, okay, I am remembering their 2014 run, other than their round 1 win against St. Joseph's in overtime, but they end up winning that game by 8. 77-65 against Villanova second round. Iowa State, 81-76 in the Sweet 16. Elite 8, Michigan State, 60-54. Final Four, Florida, 63-53. And then championship, Kentucky, 60-54. When you – that's not incredibly close games.
Yeah, and it's kind of like it was with everybody. Like the bracket has opened up so much. It was like you look at the road and you're like, oh man, we'll have to face this team and this team and this team. I
Yep.
mean, it's kind of like, hey man, it's kind of there for you. I mean, when it was you got to
Right.
the Final Four, you're like, oh god, UConn's going to win. They're the best team left.
Right. And it might just be true.
Yeah.
It's insane, dude. I love it. I think it's been a lot of fun, and it's been a lot of fun on both sides. So that's been cool.
And I am kind of glad that San Diego State won because I think UConn with Sonogo would have dominated FAU because they have like no size.
Yeah, I mean probably so. Probably. I think it could be I think this could be a UConn trouncing. I'm rooting for San Diego State at this point just because it's not like 5 seeds like incredibly, low. Especially UConn's just a 4 in this tournament, which is it'd be a good year for the Big East. So I mean, it's kind of understandable why they're so such a lower seed. But I mean, they're 30-8 as well. San Diego State's 32-6. So it's not like San Diego State's just this massive underdog, but to go through the number one overall seed to get there. That's like you got to root for them, especially because it was Alabama. You got to root for them a little bit.
Oh yeah, 100%.
And they've got Southwold's logo. You heard me right. Southwold doesn't have their logo.
Go Keys.
Go Keys. I do want to get into questions, and I've got a good segue for questions because this is from me. What are your thoughts on Final Fours and stadiums? Like, you like it? Would you prefer they be in actual basketball arenas, or how's your thought there?
Honestly, I've never been to one, so I don't really have a. It looks the same to me on TV, so I could care less.
Interesting. So I'm kind of like, I don't know, something looks weird about it on TV to me. Something looks off.
When they do like an overview, like a whole overview, yeah, it looks weird, but I don't think it like. I don't know. I mean, what's? I would rather them play in a Jerry's World than freaking whatever Vanderbilt calls their stadium, that stage that they play on.
That's fair. I think too. It's one of those things. I think it looks weird. I do have questions about it. So how are the seats? Is it like Battle at Bristol where there's not really a good seat? Or are there, so my question is there 15 to 20,000 good seats? Like
I don't think I would want to pay a lot of money to go and sit in a football stadium to watch a basketball game.
Not if Tennessee wasn't playing in it. No. See, That's kind of my take though, is that if you can tell me there's 15 to 20,000 quality seats that you would get pretty similar, somewhat similar to a basketball arena, then I love the idea because I love it that if Tennessee ever made it, I just want to be in the building. Like I'll sit where I'm sure you saw Big Cat's tweet that went viral several times, not just from him, but from other people saying to end it. And I kind of get the idea. You don't want those seats, but those seats also don't exist in other arenas.
Mm.
And so if I'm a Tennessee fan, I want to get in the arena for a Final Four national championship. Don't care how much, don't care where I'm sitting. I just want to get in. And then I love that because it's so big, you get a couple hundred, maybe 1,000 students on the floor, or I guess not technically on the floor, but in the stadium. Like I think that you don't get that in college football with the college football playoff. You don't see that. And so I think it's one of those things I'm like, I'm sure there would be a quote unquote better way to do it, but I also like the idea of a crap load of fans being there for big games like that.
Yeah, I'm just kind of like, how many are you trying to get in that thing, I guess, is a question.
Yeah.
Because like I do want to, like, you want to have it as much as a basketball atmosphere as possible.
Mm-hmm.
But then there's also that, like, you want to be able to sell as many tickets as you can.
And I think that's the thing is they talk about it coming down to money and it being just a money hungry thing. And I think there's definitely something to that. You sell more tickets. The reported attendance for UConn Miami was almost 74,000. That's a lot more tickets than if it was played in the Rockets Arena. Is that State Farm Arena still? Did that get changed? Because I think Atlanta's State Farm now.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
So
I'm just wondering, why would you play in a, what is it? The Houston Texans.
Yeah, it's NRG Stadium this year.
Instead of the Houston Rockets. I mean, is that scheduling? Is that just
No, I think
ticket sales?
I think it's ticket sales and numbers. You want to get numbers in there, I think, is all it is.
Because like I'm kind of thinking like FAU and San Diego State, they selling out that thing? Probably not.
Probably not, but I think also this year was probably pretty cool that there were probably a lot of people that live in and around Houston that saw a Final Four ticket that was affordable and picked up and went. So I think you did get some of that this year. And
yeah,
then
maybe there is more affordable tickets because there are so many. I didn't think about that. Yeah, that's a good point.
I think you mentioned it. You want to keep it like a basketball game, like a basketball atmosphere, and you want that. So like if you can guarantee me that's happening each year, then I'm into the stadium thing. And as a fan of a team that hopes to get there one day, I'm in to that because I like the idea of there being, I know it wouldn't be this number, but like 40,000 Tennessee fans, if that could ever happen. I like that idea. I think that's cool.
Yeah.
It's more than you get at a home game.
Yeah.
But again, if it's like Battle at Bristol, like as cool as it would be to see 180,000 at a college football playoff game at a national championship, there were no good seats there. Like no one had a good view of the field.
Yeah.
So, but I mean, I've seen camera phones are kind of tricky that you don't always get. But I mean, I saw some from lower levels. They look good. Like they look like a normal basketball arena to me. Or I assume. So I don't know. But I did look it up to kind of see when this shift went from stadiums to arenas. Arenas to stadiums. And it looked like 1982 was the first year it moved to a stadium. It was in New Orleans at the Superdome. And then they went to the Pit in Albuquerque. Are you familiar with the Pit?
Mm-mm.
The Final Four was in the Pit. It's Albuquerque is New Mexico's, not New Mexico State, New Mexico's arena. It's pretty cool. It's it looks like a building, doesn't look like an arena, and it's in the ground. So you walk in, everyone goes down to their seats.
Oh, wow.
Really cool. But yeah, they played there in 1983, and then they played they played a couple more arenas, and then it looked like in 1999, it's been pretty much in stadiums the whole time since then.
I mean, I had no clue.
I didn't know when that shift exactly happened because I mean I know recent history they've always been in stadiums, but I don't know. I'd be interested to hear some people stories that have been to both and what they think is better. I'd be interested to hear.
It's your team winning, I guess. It would probably all that matters.
Right. Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah, if you won in a stadium and didn't win in an arena, you probably like the stadium better. So
yeah. All right.
But real quick about that too. Do you think it affects the shooters that much?
No.
Okay, that's a big topic. Affects the shooters. Depth's off. So
I just highly doubt it.
All right. Ready to get to more questions? We've got a few more.
Yeah, we can do that real quick, or we can save those for next time. Either way, I mean, I know we're hitting up here.
Let's save some of them. We'll do We'll do this next one because you asked the question today. What sports fan base do you hate the most? Dylan and Joe, feel free to hop in here for this in segments if you want.
I think mine. I think it's not my most hated one, but I think it's definitely the softest, just out of personal experience. And that's Memphis.
Okay.
Like I tweeted about Penny Hardaway throwing that water bottle and how stupid he looked throwing it. Dude, some random person found me on Facebook and pulled up a picture of my mom and sent it to me.
I missed that. Interesting.
Yeah. I mean, I had to block him. That's kind of weird that he's
that is very stalker.
Yeah.
That's concerning.
Yeah, it's kind of bonk on his part, but I think that's been the softest. I mean, that whole Rick Barnes, Penny Hardaway debacle there, that fan base was just obnoxiously soft.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of Memphis fans. My favorite one was they won the game, so it was kind of confusing. They won the game in Knoxville. Was that 19 in Knoxville? and a fan left the stadium just mad, threatening to fight everyone he saw. It was very weird. So I'm not a fan of that fan base. That's not the only guy, but that's my example of encapsulates them. My two are obvious. It's Alabama, and here's what kind of sucks: the Alabama fans I know in real life that are real Alabama fans, not the ones I know in real life that have no connections and just decide to be an Alabama fan. They're obnoxious. Can't stand them. The ones I know that are real Alabama fans, they are the polar opposites of these Twitter and blog, YouTube, all them Alabama fans. Can't stand them. And then the three Vandy fans, they're obnoxious. I hate them.
Yeah, I can't stand the Vandy fans. That's probably my number one. Is just they don't know their place in the world.
They are the little man syndrome of college athletics.
Sure. Yeah, it's like, dude, know your role, stay in your lane. Like you have no room to talk about anything. You're terrible at everything. The one thing you have is college baseball, and yeah, you're undefeated right now, but also like you're not the top of college baseball anymore.
No, and I mean even like they've always been a good program, but they've never been just flat out dominant for.
And you get more scholarships, and you're still not good at any sport.
Yeah, they've never been what Alabama was in football, or I mean, like Duke in basketball. Like they've never been that.
No, and they never will.
I'll go away from the typical. I mean, obviously, there's Tennessee rivals and fan bases, SEC, that drive me up a wall. But I'll take it over to the Big Ten, and I don't like most Big Ten fan bases, but the dire hatred I have for Penn State fans is crazy. Because I come from Pennsylvania, obviously, and I've got a lot of friends that go to Penn State and stuff. But God, I just hate that team. I hate them. I've never been like, oh wow, like I don't know. They just drive me nuts, and I think it's just because like. I don't know if there's actually such thing as I don't know if there's a real Penn State fan out there, like in the world. Like, I think they're all just like either college kids, recently graduated kids that like still claim fandom, but it's in the middle of nowhere. And then like, you'll get a fan from like 5 hours away, which is cool. Like I respect, your willingness to cheer on your team, but just because you went to college there 30 years ago and have no connection otherwise, I don't know. They just drive me nuts. And it's kind of like the Eagles fans of the North, except that they just go for Penn State and it's 10 times worse. At least the Eagles fans like fight and it's fun and you know what you're getting into. I respect that, honestly. They're scumbags and they know it. That's their whole persona. Penn State's not at the level where they're allowed to be scumbags. So
Penn State has worse than Ohio State fans? I thought you were going to go with Ohio State for sure when you said Big Ten.
So that's the thing is I would totally Urban Meyer's probably one of my least favorite humans in the world, but as you guys know, my girlfriend's an Ohio State fan, and her whole family is because they're up from Ohio. So I've met a lot of Ohio State fans that are cool, and I feel like I'd be doing them dirty but they're definitely my second most hated fan base because there's a lot of
there it is.
I'm not trying to get you in trouble. I was okay with your explanation. You didn't have to drop that bomb, but
it's fine. They know it. I mean, I've stated my case. Trust me, I was there for the Michigan game, and I made so many enemies that probably hope that we don't have a future together because I was having a grand old time. I don't like Michigan either. Look, I'm not. Again, I'm a SEC.
You just hate the Big Ten in general.
Yeah, I do. I'm not a fan.
I love that you hate Penn State because they have James Franklin, so they're basically just Vandy fans up north.
Exactly, they are. It's a fact. I don't know, they drive me nuts.
Vandy will love to hear that the northern school they got compared to is Penn State. CJ Taylor's really going to have something to say to you tomorrow, Landon. Well, we don't have to. All right. Most important. You can. I don't.
Screw it. I'll do it. Screw it. So this man, CJ Taylor, comes out and says Tennessee, and y'all better tweet this because this is news. Breaking news right here. CJ Taylor, the Vanderbilt player, came out, or there was an article written that Tennessee was tampering, trying to get him to come to Tennessee, and he wasn't in the transfer portal. That's illegal, yes. But I called cap because Tennessee rushed for 362 yards and 6 touchdowns. Why would we want somebody on that defense? And he was like, "Oh man, like it's true. Like I got it recorded." if you're openly recording a conversation, you're trying to get somebody in trouble. So I think all of it's just false.
We'd like to know it's not illegal in the state of Tennessee. Only one party consent. Just to note.
Yeah, but if you're filming somebody, there is a reason to be filming somebody. He's whatever. I was like, send me the recording then. He's like, oh man, I can't do that. And that was my buddy that texted you back.
Oh God.
I'd also like to note, Landon, you like that tweet didn't go. I don't know how it got back to CJ Taylor. I just went and looked.
I didn't even mention him at all.
You didn't mention him. I don't know how it got there. I guess that For You page is just really tailored correctly.
Yeah,
because it's not like a you didn't get
replies. Seriously name searching like Josh Dobbs used to in college.
But even then, he would have had. You didn't say his name at all.
No.
So he would have had to look at quote tweets. Very interesting. Yeah, you saw you got a reply from Vanderbilt fan. That's very interesting. I didn't even look at that until just now. I didn't think about that. But
yeah, he said.
Did you hear anything after?
He said that was my buddy, and I was like, oh, all good, man. Like, go Vols. And I was like, also, you should have taken him up on the offer then. What are you doing staying at Vanderbilt, you moron?
Landon's out here tampering. You don't care.
Dude, the whole my buddy took my phone, that's such an 8th grade answer, bro.
Oh, dude.
I love
as soon as
that.
he said it, I was like, you are lying out your ass.
Texting the girl.
I loved that.
She's not into you. Yo, that was my friends. They dared me. Like, that wasn't me. My friends.
Exactly.
Dude, it was so –
middle school.
He regretted it immediately after he sent it.
That's great.
Keep that forever. That's a DM.
Dude, it's all time. All time.
I want to see the recording. I want to hear that. Let's not let that go.
There's not one. I know that right now.
Maybe we'll see a deep fake come out.
It was probably Jeremy Pruitt like a couple years ago, and he just like it was Tennessee's coaches. They were reaching out to me.
I kind of hope that's the case now. Now that you say that. Most important of the week.
I'll go first. I got Meg the Stallion throwing out the first pitch, and it wasn't
That's
just like
important?
It was the most important because of all of the horny ass people, including Coach Jason Brown coming out there, and he was like, "Oh, she's wearing them things." I'm like, dude, what?
Unlimited bonks.
They said that on the broadcast?
No, Jason Brown, like the
okay.
Last Chance U coach.
Oh,
he was out there like tweeting about.
That dude stays horny.
He wears it though.
Let's see what I have any before we get to. I've got some stuff to show here. We'll go first here. This was one of my favorite videos I found this week. Oh, I need to look up so I'll watch the video. This is awesome. Shoot, if I can play it.
Take it! Fuck! And that's my stick. Oh, he might score with my stick here. He's gonna score with my stick. Watch this shit. Oh, that's my stick! That's my stick! That's my stick! Oh, did cable get that? Did the TV get that? Oh! Give me that fucking thing!
So I think that's awesome. He just throws his stick into ready to go. That should get an assist, right? He should get an assist for that.
Certainly.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know anything about hockey, but like that's good luck.
Let's put that into football terms. A guy's running wide open. His shoe falls off. They're somehow able to assist him with the shoe, and then he goes and scores a touchdown. That's the same thing, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah. That's an assist.
His arm falls off. You give him your arm. Yeah, same thing.
All right, let me put this into real world scenario. You have something in the back of your car. You don't know what it is. You drive to a bar, restaurant, whatever you want to call it. The person gets this thing out of the back of your car, uses that to kill someone. You should get charged with murder, right? Okay. All right. Just wanted to see where we're at with that.
I have no clue where you're going with that. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I do agree. I guess when he lost his stick, he was just in the wrong place.
Wrong place.
Wrong place. Yep.
I'll jump in really quick. I mean, Landon, you're repping it. You got the chair. I mean, Caleb is. It's Masters week, dude. It's the only week. Like, I'm a huge basketball fan. March just ends. I've done the whole sit on the couch. No, like Masters week. It's 6 o'clock wake ups. You're there. I mean, it's prime prepping. And I plan on. I don't know if you guys saw. They had the Masters like food box kit, like the catering thing that they were doing, which is a great deal for $150. You get like a bunch of stuff and get like Masters cups and stuff. Everyone loves that anyway. They're always overpriced. So I was planning on doing that, but then I guess they had to throw it on Easter week, which is kind of dumb, whatever. But
So dumb.
but sorry, everything's come second. I mean, I will be locked in. So I know you guys aren't as much into golf, but for golf nerds, this is the pinnacle of the calendar year.
Yeah,
Of everything.
I'm with you. I'm ready for it. I was about to say it should be legal for Easter and Masters to be on the same weekend.
It
That
should.
Sunday when we go to family for lunch, I'm turning like I'm walking in, and typically like Thanksgiving and Christmas with games already on, whoever the first male there just goes ahead and turns on the TV to the game.
Correct.
So I hope I'm not alone. Like I think I'm going to try to be the first one there just to make sure nothing else can be on besides the Masters.
I agree. I might see if, I mean, I'm not saying it, but I'm going to be a little disappointed if there's not a stream going on at the church service in the morning. That just seems a little unconventional. So,
I mean,
I'll be
in my opinion, Jesus rose on this day because it was the Masters final round, is what it's
Right.
to be.
Yeah.
So.
He might come back if Tiger's going to win again. I mean,
they were pumping up the live tours this weekend. Live tour guys on this weekend on Twitter. They had Brooks Koepka playing his best golf right now ahead of Masters weekend.
Yeah, don't even get me started on live. But I will take. I thought about tossing some money on Brooks Koepka top 10 or top 20. Probably top 10. It's the storyline. He had his full swing moment. He's back in. He's like his ego is going again, and I feel like he just won again today. He's the first ever second winner of the live tour, even though there's been like 7 events in total. They were like hyping that up as if it was like there's only been 7 events. The odds that there's like someone good enough on your shitty tour to win twice in a row is like not that often. So
if he wins this, like you mentioned the full swing, if he wins this after the full swing, we need a storyline about the jumpsuits he wore, talking about getting his swagger back. Him and his crew look like the world's biggest douchebags going to, I think it was an NHL game in matching jumpsuits. I mean, that's a villainous story start if he can then go and win the Masters after that. Got his swagger back.
Frosted tips?
I think he's got rid of them.
Yeah, I think he's banned that.
Oh, good. I mean, maybe that's the key.
Yeah, that's probably all it was. He's enemy number 1 if he wins, though. I'm not taking any of the live slander. I mean, good for him, but don't want to see it.
All right, any more most importance?
I do. I know we're supposed to hate Bruce Pearl on this podcast. I get why people like him. I'll never deny why people like him. I think this is a great example, and I have to show it. Are y'all getting any sound?
No.
All right, let's do a video here. I'm gonna watch this video. I didn't even check it. Watch it not just have any sound, and I'm a moron. That's gonna really suck. It's a great video.
And clearly a basketball school. How many people at Auburn do you think around there would murder you if it's like guaranteed a national title in football? Do you think they'd be like, oh, we guarantee a national title football, but we got to kill Bruce Pearl? Yeah. Like, what % of the campus is taking you out? For the right price, give me the gun, I'll kill myself. I've always wondered. I love the Auburn. We're in everything school. I love the Auburn. For a national championship, for a natty? Yeah, for a football.
I love that.
I mean, oh, yeah.
He's one of he's a fan. He might not actually. I don't think he is. I don't think he
football
cares that
guy,
much, but he'll lie and say it. You love that.
It's valid.
Screw that guy.
I get it. I get the love for him. I'll never deny that. So,
yeah, you just hate him because he's not here.
Yeah, and it's not really his fault that I dislike him. It's most of the fans that cry for him.
Yeah,
it's annoying.
Any more most important?
That is, this is kind of cool, but I don't know if it's most important. I meant to upload the picture. I forgot. Hopefully y'all can see this. Did y'all see where 101 Tennessee Stadium replicas were seized in customs? Dude, those are sweet. First off, I will take the fire hazard in my house.
Just don't plug it in, right?
I guess if Customs will just give it to me. Apparently, they didn't have some kind of certification on the wiring, which made them unsafe. It was $250,000 worth of model stadiums. The UL mark on the 110V plug for the lighting was not authentic, so they got seized. I mean, those are. So most important is whoever made that in China.
It sounds like just another Android charger plug.
Yeah, right. One of the iPhone chargers you buy on Amazon, that's all it is.
Yeah.
But I mean, dude, that was sick. But yeah. Also fail on how do you get that seized at Customs? Like, what are you doing? Also, how can people get drugs in these countries and we can't get a false plug through? What are we?
Yeah, how does that happen?
I just realized that.
Yeah, what are you checking? My first fail is the Dodgers fan who tried to propose on the field and just got freaking annihilated.
I have the video pulled up because I was going to be mine if you want me to pull it up.
Please do.
I think everyone's seen it.
Sign that guy.
Absolutely, yeah. Seriously, that was some up aggression, dude. Well, I mean, that's targeting.
Yeah, for sure.
Wrote it down. In the slow frame, like literally, his head doesn't move and his body shifts like 3 feet left. Like,
oh, dude, it was like any quarterback when they know they fumbled it and they're trying to grab something that in hopes that they get the ball back. He's trying to find that ring on the ground.
Do we think she
the
said
funniest
yes?
part is it's like, oh, she had to. It might be.
What was the thought though? I bet
that would be the worst fail of all time if she said no.
But I mean, is your girlfriend going to say yes if you just got arrested for proposing to her by running away from her?
Hey, that's love, Caleb.
I guess.
That is love.
You just don't know it yet.
You're right.
I just don't. I mean, the security guard. I mean, that guy was on a knee for like 15 seconds. I don't know if he looked like. I mean, that's you don't mistake on one knee with your hands out for much. Maybe he thought he was about.
The guy tried to warn him. He was like, "Get up, get up,
dude."
Yeah. I mean, that security. I mean, he was almost left center. I mean, that security guard probably had a solid 50 yards of run up time to just get those feet churning. So I mean,
that pop up time was unreal.
Dude, they love, but they live for that moment. That's their Super Bowl.
Oh yeah.
And then he gets to tee up a guy laying on the ground, pretty much. Oh,
that is valid.
Yeah,
he got low too. I think that should be honestly. I mean, watching someone streak the field at any game, let alone a baseball game, is awesome. But the only thing better than that is when they get absolutely rocked. So, I mean, I'm down for it. If that's got to be the new protocol, is to just absolutely lay the lumber, just take some XFL guys or some old NFL players with CTE and just line them up there. You just get to do whatever you want.
That's Antonio Brown's new job.
Here we go. Give Jeremy Banks a job as a security guard at MLB Stadium.
Yeah, Joe, we're gonna have a show one day of just you, just a little notice on Jeremy Banks.
Dude, we'll go way over time. It'll be 11 o'clock.
All right, any more fails?
Yeah, I got Brad Bohannon from Alabama. This is my favorite ejection video of all time. Better than the Tony Vitello chest bump. I mean, absolutely incredible. I can't hit play on anything today. I don't know what's happening in that entire video. I love that the second base ump cannot get between them at first. He just has no idea how to position himself. And then Brad Bohannon hits him with the call into the hogs, which is amazing that it's a thing. It blows my mind. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that, Landon. Break that down for me. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah, I don't know. The thing that stuck out to me was one guy was like, "Throw him out again."
That's a great point too. Is he's barely out of the dugout and gets tossed, and he pulls a Tony Vitello. He's like, "Hell no, I'm earning this."
Yeah, throw him out again.
Shout out to Brad Bohannon. That's all time. Thank you. Like that's all.
I love it.
They were definitely away too, right?
Yeah, that was at Arkansas. Okay. Yeah.
So he definitely like when he was walking back to the dugout, he got like a little bit of, I don't know, like in his feels a little bit. Like he was mad that people just kept cheering.
I don't know, dude. He got him
because like that was an angry that was an angry jazz hands that man did.
He's fired up.
That dude was feeling it. I loved it. I called it a fail, but maybe it should have been my most important. It was one of my favorite videos from this weekend.
I have one more fail, and it's Chicago Bulls fans brought a stripper to the skybox.
Again, not a fail. Dude, the crazy part about that is I watched like the news, like when I saw it on Twitter, it was like the news coverage of it, which I guess it was Chicago news, which I'm sure like that's probably the most like mild thing that's been on that news there in like years. But like they were just the way the anchors were talking about it, like the quotes that they were using, like was just so not what you normally hear on news. They were like, she was on quote throwing ass over everyone or something, like just like news-ish.
Just horned
like,
up.
Yeah, Chicago.
Jason Brown was in this segment.
Yeah,
yeah.
This dude's just...
It was probably pardon my take, moving to Chicago. It was probably their skybox.
Yeah, probably. That's send me that video.
What's up? Yeah, apparently she's gonna come to our tailgate next year.
Is she for hire? Can we? I was working on a flagpole, but we can make some adjustments to that thing. It'll be way more certified than that electrical wires that came through customs. We'll get that.
Yeah,
get that thing nailed down.
Love it.
All right, guys. Anything else?
That's it. It's been fun.
A lot of fun.
Landon, think about a movie next episode that you hate that
we just have a 15-minute tangent about.
Yeah, I'll defend anything. Just give me anything.
Okay.
Don't ask my thoughts on China.
Yes. All right, guys. It's not my fault. Just want to throw that out there again. We'll be back. We got tomorrow. We got the bat flip. We'll be back Thursday with this show, and just got a lot more content coming out. So stay tuned for that. Check out Underdog, the Volunteer Club. We're bringing the boat in, and we out.